So I figured I'd just go ahead and just give you a little chat. Me sitting on my porch, just watching Cambodia go by. Well, for those of you who don't know, my mother has been basically in a nursing home for goodness, well over a year now. And so they've put her on hospice, and they're talking about taking her off her feeding tube, which is upsetting, but life goes on, you know? I don't know, been pretty upset about it, but I knew it was coming, so it's not exactly a surprise, but still hurts. And I've just been kind of thinking about it the last couple days, and I don't know, it just, I know she's in pain. What originally happened was she had about 7 or so strokes, and basically has been pretty much bedridden, unable to talk, unable to communicate. For at least, I don't know, close to 2 years now. Not quite 2 years, but it's been a while. At least a year, over a year. So, yeah, she's in bad shape. And I just don't know what to say or do about it, you know? There's not a whole lot I can do about it. I'm over here in Cambodia, and I love her to death, and it's upsetting. I've cried a few times over it, but I've known that one day she's gonna go, and I guess I know she's in pain, and I don't want her to be in pain, so I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It feels like a bad thing, but it also feels like a good thing, because if she's in there and she knows what's going on, she's got to be suffering. And if she's not in there, then she's already gone. And I told myself when I came back to Cambodia that even if she passed away, that I wasn't going to go back to the States. All it would do is serve to spend more money that I don't really have, and all it would do would be to upset myself, and for my mental health, I don't think I could do it. So, and for those of you who don't know, I went back to the States, and let's see here, about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. It was in December of I think 17 or 18. Anyway, so it was 2019, 20 now. So yeah, at least 2 years. We'll just call it 2 years ago. More like 3, but but yeah, I went back to the States and basically was staying with her and trying to help out and all that good stuff, and then she had more strokes, and she ended up going into the nursing home, and me and my stepfather, we would go and drive to the nursing home every day. I did that for at least a year. And go check on her, and quite frankly, it just made my depression worse. And it's just, I love my mother, and my real father, he passed away a month before I was born, crushed underneath a basically a dump truck bed. He's working on it, and it's full of dirt, and it collapsed on him, crushed him, and yeah. So basically, my stepfather's still around, but he's not doing well at all. He confided that he had a heart attack, and he's also in a wheelchair, missing one of his legs. And yeah, so, and growing up as a kid, we never really got along. As an adult, as me as an adult and him older, we got along a little better, but you know, it is what it is, and I love him to pieces, but kind of feel alone in the world. Yeah, for a long time. For those of you who don't know, I've been married 3 times, and probably some of that is because I'm afraid to be alone. Really afraid to be alone. I don't know if you can see all those little bugs flying in the little dragonflies, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. They're something. Birds? No, birds? I don't know. Birds, bats. Maybe they're bats. That'd be so cool if they were bats. Probably birds. I do feel alone. Very much alone. But I find strength in some of the words my mother said to me when I was growing up, that you can do anything. I know it's cliche, but you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Doesn't matter what it is. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish it, if that's what you really want. And she is such a strong, willful woman, and I love her to pieces. I just want her to be happy, be well, and if removing her feeding tube is better for her, then so be it. Because the life she's living, I don't think I'd wish it on anybody. I watched my grandfather. Now, my mom doesn't seem necessarily as bad off as he was, but I watched him go from this big, towering, grumpy old man to this skinny, basically wasted away because he had lymph node cancer. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody either. And my mother told me that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to miss someone. But to do them any justice, you can't dwell on it, and you have to move on. Obviously, she was probably talking about my father, because she was telling me this, but it was also around the time my grandfather passed away, and she's such a strong woman.
and I know whatever happens, it's what happens, and I have to be strong for her. Have to live my life. Have to strive to be better than I am for her, and try to be the son she wanted, when she wants, and do whatever I can do in this world for her. So, with that said, love y'all. Peace, love, and chicken grease.